Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and nowadays whenever I find an old Pulasan variety, same with rambutan and all other Nephelium varieties, I try to record it. Unfortunately, or maybe people see it as fortunately, even here in Borneo, modern varieties are king, and yeah, old varieties are kind of disappearing. With Pulasan, well, what is Pulasan to begin with? I guess pretty much nobody in the West knows what Pulasan is. Well, you know lychees? Chinese lychees? They used to be in the same genus as Pulasan. You know rambutan? The hairy lychee from the tropics? It does not have short spines like the lychee. It has long hairs. Well, rambutan is quite well known throughout Southeast Asia. And you can get it from time to time even in Western supermarkets, but the Pulasan, for some reason, is mostly being known here in Sarawak. Even in the rest of Borneo, it's not easy to find. Like in Sabah, the other Malaysian state in Borneo, you find it from time to time. In Kalimantan, the Indonesian part of Borneo, you find it from time to time. In West Malaysia, especially in Kuala Lumpur, you can find it from time to time. But for example, in the rest of Indonesia, most people have never heard of Pulasan. Yeah, look at it. It's like a rambutan, just the hairs are shorter and so thick that you don't call them hairs, but actually call them papille. And it's usually much, much tastier than the rambutan. And just like the rambutan, there are many very similar wild species and many very old village varieties. Nowadays, pretty much most of the modern varieties are like big and kind of brownish. This is a normal size modern variety, but there are some which are, there is one which is very long and at the same time pretty flat, and there is one that is just simply big. But yeah, this brownish purplish color is kind of the norm for modern varieties nowadays. However, here I found, mixed with fruits of a modern variety, this old village variety. The lady who was selling them had one pile just of the old village variety, one bundle mixed with the modern variety and the old village variety, and one pile, you could almost call them rejects, mostly modern Pulasan, but also some of this old stuff. When you look at it, well, it's about half the size of the standard modern variety and not even a quarter of the size of the giant modern varieties. It is bright red in this case. Pulasan, they are found in all different colors. You have them in green, in yellowish, in red, in purple to almost black. They are very colorful. Yeah, one big disadvantage of the Pulasan against the rambutan is that a big part of the mass of the fruit is actually made up by this thick rind. It's much thicker than in the rambutan. You might think the rambutan that's more weight for the rind because it's the hairs are longer, but no, actually in Pulasan they are longer. That might be the main reason why Pulasan is not being cultivated on the same extent as rambutan. Also, they seem to have smaller yields, and also many of them seem to grow their fruits only in ones or twos and not in big clusters. Now let's try them. First, the big modern variety. Very sweet and very juicy. Pulasans can be better than this, but this is already very good, to be honest. A clingstone. This is not very favored nowadays. People want free stones. You want the flesh to separate from the stone, but this is a clingstone. Now let's see the small one. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to taste those things to know why we should preserve the old varieties. You might think the old variety is something like sour or unpleasant, but no. It's much sweeter, and it has this typical rambutan flavor, which I've missed so much in most of the rambutans I've reviewed. It has this typical Pulasan flavor, which I've missed so much in the Pulasans I've reviewed during the last weeks. The wonderful Pulasan flavor, which for me is the main reason why the Pulasan is superior to the rambutan. It's a wonderful candy flavor. It's not really fruity, it's not really floral. It's the flavor of a great candy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's totally missing in this one. It's totally missing in almost every Pulasan. I've tried about 10 in the last 2 weeks. In almost every Pulasan I've tried in the last 2 weeks. It's sweet, but not just sweet, but with a flavor like candy flavor, like some really nice natural candy flavoring. Wonderful, folks. Despite this being twice the size, in this case I would totally approve of this one. It's the same with ancient rambutan varieties. Often they are so highly superior to the modern ones in taste. I mean, it's not like apples. I understand, like apples, Golden Delicious is superior to most of the ancient apple varieties. I also understand mangoes. Modern varieties are often superior to the ancient pretty sour varieties, but with Pulasan as well as with rambutan, the small ancient village varieties or even the wild ancestors are super superior in taste. I asked the ladies if this is jungle rambutan, if this is jungle Pulasan. They said no, not from the jungle, from the village. And also when I laid them out here in the food court, people said, oh, he's got he's got village Pulasan. So yeah, they recognize those things. Some of them still value them enough, but I think normally they are not getting enough attention, which is a pity, because those modern varieties, they might be more convenient, bigger, more productive. Nothing beats the taste of old Pulasan and also rambutan variety. I went to the market and bought a big pile of small Pulasan, and I also talked to the lady. Okay, lady, so that I'm absolutely sure. Itu kawin, satu pokok, dua buah-buahan, kawin di satu pokok. So, those are both grafted, but they are both grafted on one tree. So both varieties grow on one tree because grafts from two different varieties have been grafted on the same tree. So crazy, despite those being completely distinct varieties, they come from the same tree. So folks, I'm really happy I bought this variety. I think I'll go back and buy more. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich city of Sriaman, where you find so many old fruit varieties and also crocodiles lurking on the opposite bank. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.